Welcome back. Now, Telkom has had a bumper first half. The telecoms operator boasts a near 47% jump in headline earnings per share, largely thanks to cost reduction initiatives which helped offset inflationary cost pressures and extra costs of load shedding. Alongside the numbers, the group has issued a cautionary related to its sale of its towers business, SwiftNet, to a consortium of equity investors. Company CEO Serame Taukobong joins us for a greater perspective on Telkom's half year and plans moving forward. Serame, always a pleasure. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your viewers.
All right, Serame, better days indeed. Group revenue up 2.5%, EBITDA up 1.7%, and even better increases in your HEPS and EPS. Let's talk about the top line filtering down to the bottom line over this period.
I think it's been a good performance for the team. They've done well. I think we're quite happy with the results going forward. And obviously, we can't talk much about the activity on value unlock, but we are unlocking value. So we're delivering on what we promised the market.
So what we had seen in previous periods, I think, was some expenses and impairments really flowing through the financials. Are we satisfied now that the worst of that is behind us, and what we see into the future may be more indicative of Telkom's value?
Absolutely. I think the investments in the payments were obviously quite impacted us, but what we're looking at in the future is positive, and we're happy with the results we see.
I do believe there were also some restatements from prior periods, in the set of numbers. So, I mean, have that at all impacted the numbers greatly? Is it a material change that we're seeing as a result of the restatements?
It was marginal. I think the effect of the HEPS was 23 million, which was 4 cents. So it really was marginal.
And then we must touch on interest rates during this time. Let's talk about that and how you are feeling about the debt that sits on your balance sheet at present.
I think our balance sheet is looking quite stable now. We want to 1.8% of lending. So I think we're comfortable with where we're selling.
Now, of course, you said you can't tell us much about the value unlock strategy, but what we do know, Serame, is that we're working towards an infrastructure company of Telkom. I'm just keen to get, more on this. Is this looking a little bit away from a traditional telco to an infrastructure company? What does that look like for the future?
I think for us, what's important is that if you look at the assets that we have fiber infraco, we have the towers, we have the network operation model. So I think on the infraco model, data centers, everything put into place, we are steady for providing the digital infraco for what the country needs.
And I must ask you, conversations of Telkom acquisitions have certainly died down, and you've been very consistent in this messaging that, Telkom didn't need a savior. Nobody was coming to save it. I'm just keen to get your thoughts on that and, the future of Telkom then, of course, looking at the InfraCo strategy, but also looking at expansion, Serame. What does that look like?
I think for us is that, consolidation in the market is natural. And it depends on which one of the players talks to us, but consolidation is natural. It's something that we're not against. So I will take the further that one.
And then let's touch on CapEx and capital allocation. Also a big one for this sector, the sector that you play in, Serame. It's one of those where, big balance sheets are necessary. Let's talk about how you have allocated capital over the period, and if there's anything that you're looking at particularly that might need quite a bit of capex.
So what's key for us is that we spent most of our capex in a corporate environment. We got a lot of capex allocated to the sub-1 gig spectrum, which we spent, and we got allocation in that. So our mobile capex was really allocated to really inflicting that sub-1 capex. So I think our capex allocation in terms of our capex ratio is quite right, and we're happy with it.
So, of course, I think in the future we'll hear a little bit more about what's happening with SwiftNet, but I'm keen to get your outlook just looking ahead here. We are expecting interest rates and inflation to come under control in South Africa. What does that do for Telkom's prospects, but also where are you looking for clues about the macros that will affect Telkom?
I think the biggest thing we're facing, Madam, is the impact we're seeing on consumers, right? So that's why we're saying on postpaid, we've made allocations to reduce our impact on there. But other than that, we're good.
Serame, it's always a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for chatting to us this afternoon. Have a great one. That was Telkom CEO Serame Taukobong.